Warning, this podcast will contain spoilers. What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the As Seen on TV podcast for Supernatural Season 11, Episode 1. Season 11. Yeah, sounds weird.
It's a lot of seasons.
I know, right? Out of the Darkness into the Fire. I'm your host, Mike, and joining me are Kim.
Hi.
And Omi.
Hi.
And Dom.
Hello.
Hello.
I couldn't say hi.
So
Not
season
like us.
11.
That's not a small number.
No, especially as far as TV shows go, especially as far as full season length TV shows go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only couple that I can think of that come to mind that have gone this long are like CSI, which ended,
I tell you right now,
permanently
this is
a
not the
couple weeks
last
ago.
season.
No,
Oh,
I
no.
know. I'm just
Oh,
saying,
no.
what has gone this long? CSI and NCIS, and maybe a few other CBS shows.
They don't count.
Yeah, this was episode 219. Just to round that off and put that into perspective. That's a lot of episodes. But the reason why I say this is not the last season is because this show, being as big as it is and as long as it's going on, they're not gonna just say, "Oh, guys, by the way, we're not renewing it." They're gonna go out with a bang and say, This is our last season." They're gonna start it off that way.
Oh yeah,
So-
they're gonna definitely pre-tell us.
Yeah.
They're going to have to.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because fans would be ticked.
Mm-hmm. So, we left off last season with kind of an oh shit moment with a huge wave of smoky dark cloud of doom overtaking Sam and Dean in Baby.
And baby.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I had no idea what to expect. I most certainly did not expect Sam to be out cold and Dean to be out cold a mile away in the middle of a field. I expected the darkness to take either multiple forms like Leviathan or one singular form, so the lady standing in the cloud didn't surprise me.
I was surprised.
You
And
see, I knew the darkness was going to be portrayed as a woman a while ago. That was something that was released in the press release maybe 4 months ago.
And I have I have an interesting theory I'll run by you guys later about who she is.
Okay.
Dude, we already know who she is.
Who is she?
She's the baby.
Well-
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
I meant, like, the past entity of the
It's
darkness.
something else, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna say it now because I'm gonna get it out of my system
Get it out.
Okay.
because I'm mad. There was not one reference or any jokes or anything to Neverending Story. Just not once.
Story?
Story. I know.
Neverending Story.
It's the
That's
darkness.
the nothing. That's the nothing.
Nothing,
It's
but
different.
still, yeah, I guess it is different. But still, there should be something. It's still a darkness. I mean, it's still the same thought process. And there, I know. I mean, I guess whatever nerddom. I was something.
The
Come
season
on.
is not over. The darkness is not done. There is plenty of time for references.
References, yeah, but
And
also
there's going to be an episode where they play, I believe, in a thing called love. That's gonna happen, and it better, because if they miss out on that opportunity, they are the worst. The
Mhm.
absolute worst.
Be
or
very
to
sad.
throw magic at it and drink Mountain Dew.
Magic missile.
Magic with. I had to do it. I had to do it. I
Now-
had to.
Yes.
We
Okay.
don't know much, but it seems that with the darkness came some kind of plague that's sort of like 28 Days Later.
Yeah, that's where I was really heading. Like, it's like a rage virus of some sort.
But it's not like straight up rage, because they do seem to retain some semblance of intelligence.
Some of them. We know.
Well-
We only saw the one guy so cold any still thought process. The other guys were like,
True.
I mean,
Well,
he was
hold
fighting.
on. No.
because he
We
had
saw
some
we saw
fight.
two. We saw two. At the very end, Sam. But this is also the beginning of the transformation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other people we ran into, we have no idea how long that this has gone on with them.
True.
So we don't know if they all started out with emotions as well, and feelings and thoughts and all that fun shit. But the
But the one
baby,
guy already
the baby dude, whatever, like you could see he was fighting it off, and the struggle is what killed him.
It would seem like, yes.
Yeah. So, like, maybe if you completely give into this virus, this plague, this disease, it just runs you and you don't die. You don't have a shelf life, like Dean said. If you fight it, then that's when you die.
It would seem,
Yeah.
like that. I mean, they come
So-
across the road crew, and I'm getting kind of a young, like they're going with a young Jody Mills sort of feel with this deputy sheriff lady.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she's going to be in the show that much longer.
I don't see. I don't know about that being with the baby. Obviously, Saw had the mark, and they're portraying that the baby is the darkness, that she has become something else, and they're saying that the whole came to that reference of Dean always going to be there to protect her. So that's why Dean ended up going, and why I still through everything they've been through. Dean didn't really question Sam when he was on the phone. Like he for a second, like he thought of something and then decided to just go.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some control going on there with the mark and with the darkness. Maybe they are
Yeah.
connected.
And is that the same mark that Dean had on his wrist? Is that the mark of Cain?
Yeah.
So it's not really the mark of Cain, it's the mark of the darkness, but we've been calling it the mark of Cain this whole time.
Because nobody really knew about the darkness.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
kind of a myth that nobody really believed in, like the Mark of Cain. But
And the darkness, when Dean was saying about death, she's like, I don't know this death that you speak of.
Yeah, this darkness is obviously a lot older than everything that we've seen so far.
I'm thinking that darkness is older than creation, older than God.
My theory was
Predates death.
my theory was
Yeah.
because they're taking Catholic and Bible stuff and modifying it. I was thinking it was God's wife. They went through a messy divorce and he locked her in the bowels of the earth.
Wow.
That's just what you want to do to me, so stop it.
Who said that?
That's no way to talk to your wife, Mike.
Oh my
Why would you want to
god!
lock your wife in a box?
I never said a
Back
box.
to the box.
Speaking of
So,
box
Pandora's box.
speaking of a box or a cage, we actually heard the first reference to the cage that Michael and Lucifer in since when?
Season.
Episode 200. 19 episodes ago.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they did reference it then during that.
Oh,
It still feels like a real long ass time, though.
Oh, no, it feels like way longer than 19 episodes ago. But
Yeah.
It was
yeah,
never a
before
major-
that, I think it was a season or two before that. So
Yeah, they don't reference it very often. That's why it was pretty crazy. And obviously, it was funny when they were talking about Crowley was talking about how everyone was going crazy. That he just kept saying like, oh, it's a bedtime story. The little demons, big demons tell little demons. So this has obviously been talked about. It's not something that isn't completely quiet, but they thought it as what we think was not real. Things are not real. We're talking about this thing that they think is not real.
Right. And Cass
Which
even
Which
said,
is so ironic.
and even Cass
Like-
is like, no, that's impossible.
Mike's going to know where I'm going with this. But mentioning the cage means that we're
Probably
probably,
gonna
I want to
see
say
Adam.
probably, going to get our definitive answer about Adam.
Yeah.
All right, I know where he's going with this, but anyway, the whole mention that a childlike scream, the scream like a wailing child came echoing out of the cage, kind of led me on to that whole, Lucifer and or Michael are screaming because mommy's free
And or Adam.
because never mind. Adam wouldn't be screaming about that. He was a human. He doesn't give a shit about this. Anyway, Michael and Lucifer are screaming because mommy's out, and they don't like mommy very much.
I don't know. She seemed pretty pleasant, other than the fog and.
She was
the
pleasant to
carpet.
Dean.
Yeah, because Dean is as she considers her protector.
They're linked.
I want to
Yeah.
say that
Third
it's
leg.
kind of like for those of you that are familiar with the Vampire Diaries, how the werewolf siring works. I think that's the case with the mark. Is it acts as a sire where anyone who has had the mark, or maybe it's only the last person to have transferred the mark, uh, bends
bound.
over backwards for the person in control of the mark.
Bound to the darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
You were the key that held the darkness. Now you're bound. So you're bound to her forever.
hmm
I think.
Or
Well,
maybe it's just the person who opens it. So
Maybe.
it may only be because I think the only living person right now that ever had the mark is Dean. We don't know the fate of Kane. We're assuming he's dead, but this is one of those shows where if you didn't see it, it didn't happen. And maybe the mark, if it does work this way, maybe it prevented Dean from killing Kane.
It's possible.
Nothing's ever really dead.
No, nothing's never really ever dead.
Not
We've
even
seen it
Crowley.
People
Not
come
even
back. Yeah,
Crowley. I was getting to that.
Nah.
Crowley.
I got worried. I was worried.
No,
I wasn't.
Mark Shepard said over the summer that, Crowley's going to be beaten up, but he's not dead.
Well, yeah. I figured
But-
they weren't going to kill him off. No. Crowley's.
I too was worried, especially when Cass stabbed him, and then they show from the other angle of the smoke just leaving his body, and I'm like, you crafty little fucker.
As soon as that angel
Um,
blade even pierced his skin, he would have went poof, and that didn't
Yeah.
happen.
Right.
So I knew he was fine.
So Crowley then takes over the body
Ever.
of a suburban housewife who
I was so
apparently a day before the housewife had brought up the idea of an orgy with their neighbors.
They wanted to be swingers. I was so surprised with this scene.
Crowley was ready to go in there with a tire iron and kill everybody to get enough blood to contact hell.
Until he found out about the orgy.
And then it's
Yeah.
like,
It's like, oh, okay, let's do this.
I'm gonna have this orgy first, and then I'm gonna kill people because that's so much fun.
and after he put I'm like, okay, what is he planning? What is he doing? And then you see him, with the goblet full of blood and 3 naked dead bodies all over the place. It's like, I had to echo his minion. Why'd you stay for the orgy? Why not contact hell sooner?
Because it's an orgy.
Because it's Crowley.
Did you look?
Yeah.
Did you see his subordinate's face? Like, you'd had an orgy without me. Like he looks so just down in the dumps. Like you had fun without me. You had an orgy. I
I
wanted to
was
be in
like,
an
how
orgy.
are you surprised? I'm like, come on. now.
He just looks
Come
so
on.
sad.
No, also, I see why Crowley killed him. They were the 3 lamest, suburban white people I've ever known.
I was
In a
surprised.
television
that
show.
Was where that was going. Like I saw the candles in the middle. I'm like, okay, so it's gonna be some Bible thumping, some weird shit, and he's gonna be like, oh my god, I'm gonna kill you all right now. And it went way off into left field, and I went, whoa, okay.
Well, they were still kind of on the Bible side. They were, trying not to use certain words, and they were trying to keep themselves clean and innocent.
Yeah, but,
But then they still had an orgy.
But they were
Yeah.
so lame about it. And it was after the awkward silence with Crowley smiling and looking, I was expecting him to be like, no, you all die.
You say you're calling these orgy people, the swingers, lame. Like you've done it before.
No, not that. I'm saying their personalities were lame. Come on, you agree?
Mm-hmm. He's trying to cover things up.
Cover what up?
The orgy.
The orgy. You've been in an orgy.
Never happened.
Okay,
my
Crowley.
I'm just glad Mark Shepard is still on this show. The whole fucking premise is making me lose it.
I'm really glad too. You know how.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
when interviews first started being released for immediately following season 10, he was like, "No, Crowley's dead. No, Crowley's dead." But he was still going around for press tours. It's like, "No, Crowley's dead." And I'm like, nobody's questioned the fact that he's still showing up for press tours.
Right, it's like, no, Crowley's dead. No, he's dead. Anyway, let's get on to Cass, who beat the crap out of Crowley and is still under the effect of Rowena's little rage spell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be undone
Mm-mm.
because his brothers are just gonna make it worse.
Yeah, I'm curious what those two what the angels have in store for him.
It's clearly not death, because they would have just stabbed him.
Right, exactly. They'd have just killed him.
But instead, they strung him up and bagged him. So, I say torture?
Either torture
Probably
or
torture.
I
yeah.
don't know why, though. Like, what would be the point of torture? Like, what do they want out of him? You don't just torture somebody for the sake of torturing them. It's because you need something.
He did say,
Yeah.
"I'll take any penance. I will perform
It's
any
true.
penance you want to take out on me."
Maybe it's
Yeah,
just
but
a
they're-
form of penance now that they're not exactly under the thumb of any archangel.
But is it possible that maybe these two angels are actually not from up there?
And he just
Maybe-
said brothers and sisters. His message could have reached any.
Yeah,
Angel.
because it's all on the same wavelength. They
Yeah,
all pick up on.
he kind of opened hailing frequencies on every wavelength, just like flip the switch.
So we could be dealing with something else going on, and we just don't know yet. Because this is all they gave us a Castiel. It was this little blip of what's going on without giving any answers.
Right.
So it could go any direction at this point. I mean, you're right. You don't torture someone just to torture them.
No, you don't.
Well, sometimes you do, but it didn't seem that
Yeah, I
was
do.
that was
All the
not
time.
what that was not the direction it seemed like they were going. You get a different vibe when you're just torturing just to torture.
Mhm.
Like I know.
And now to talk about what was probably my favorite part of this episode. The part where Sam and Dean had a conversation as if they were a fan watching this show. Like, it's the same shit over and over again. Like, we have to change. Something has to change here. And it's like, wow, they listened to the fans. How meta.
They listened to us in particular because that's all we bitched about
Mhm.
last season and the season before that, and
And
we're the ones who caused the change.
I know I was very hesitant because, last season dragged, and there were moments last season where I was just, no.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you'll notice that a Clio has morphed into a Kim because she was so fucking done with this show. She still is so fucking done with the show. But
I mean, Cleo's at the point where she said, if things permit or whatever, she would try to join us for the finale. But if I doubt that's going to be the case. But Cleo's basically what she said is she's going to strictly only watch the finales. She's not going to watch anything else because the road so far, she said, is all the explanation that she needs for the entire season. That they do those so well that she feels like she doesn't need to watch the rest of it and put up with all the quote unquote filler. So, I don't know.
If they truly change and they go away from this brother against brother, brother love brother thing that they do all the time, it's kind of going to be hard to get the full deal from the road so far this season.
But
Right.
that's not going to be the case because we're right back to square one again. This is last season all over.
Yeah, where they split up and go their separate ways.
It's Dean has the mark and is infected and is going to die or whatever. And now
That's
Sam
it.
is infected with the darkness and they split up and Sam is going to die if he resists and here we go. It's the same thing all over again.
It really is, yeah.
but you know what? Still, this was a good episode. in
Oh
my
no, it
opinion.
was a
Fun.
good episode. I'm
It's got
excited
me-
to see where the darkness storyline is going and what exactly like the plague and all that is that they have and who the darkness, like her whole story. And more than anything, I'm excited to get Mark Pellegrino back as Lucifer.
Uh-huh.
Because Jared Padalecki already confirmed that Mark will be returning this season.
And the thing is, those
Yeah.
guys have so much fun together on set. So you got Mark on there, you got Misha, you got Jared, you got Jensen,
And Mark.
and Mark, another Mark. You
Two
get
Marks.
you get all of them together. Can you just imagine how do they get shit done?
They don't.
You know,
But it is, they
that's why there's so many filler episodes.
Probably.
It's just they can't do shit. They can't get serious because the
Yeah.
one's taking off their pants and the other one's poking him from behind. It's shit.
Because while Jared is trying to film his scenes, Jensen's over there helicoptering his dick around.
Oh God.
So
Mike's just like,
yeah, I'm just moving
Onward.
on here. The whole screaming from the cage thing, and knowing that Mark Pellegrino's coming back, we'll get to see Lucifer again probably.
Definitely.
definitely.
So we know that they're opening the cage.
This little
So-
tidbit Dom sent me before we started. It says, "Bring out Lucifer now, please. He is the Lightbringer after all." And yes, Lucifer means Lightbringer. The darkness, a guy named Lightbringer.
Yeah, Lucifer's like, oh shit, Mama's back. I have to be actually like
I
a
love
good
we're on the
guy
bandwagon
again.
that it's his mother.
No, you just said it and
Stuck.
whatever.
Yeah.
What do
And
what do I win if I'm
I
right?
actually have to do my job
Nothing.
now. Oh my God, this fucking sucks.
I gotta go be a good guy again.
Yeah,
Mm.
I actually have to be an angel. God.
You know
if
what
it
I
comes
would
out
like?
16 episodes, no, midwinter break, if it comes out that the darkness is Lucifer's mother, I'm just gonna be like, I fucking
No.
called it.
No, I'm gonna go one over you, Mike.
Mm.
What's worse than the mother?
The grandmother.
That the darkness is God.
The mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law.
Like I said, that the darkness is gonna predate creations, predate
Probably.
God.
The darkness is Lucifer's mother-in-law. I'm calling that now.
I don't like that
Grandmother.
process.
Either that or it's his ex-wife.
Grandmother-in-law.
His ex-wife.
Hmm.
No.
Those are my two plausibles: mother or ex-wife.
Well, we know the angels did battle with this thing. So,
Mhm.
We do know that, so they are familiar.
so there was this time. So we know it was before death. So it's for the angel of death.
And
I don't-
Crowley thinks it's kind of a bedtime story.
So this battle must have happened a very, very long time ago.
Yeah.
But it had to, I know we said that it was before creation or whatever, but obviously it was there. I mean, maybe that's the reason everything was created. Maybe God rose up and all of the angels rose up with him to battle this thing.
And it clearly predates Rowena because she wouldn't have gone through with helping Sam and all that if that meant releasing the darkness, unless that was her plan all along. But I don't think she was that clever.
She's only 300 years old. I'm seeing this being thousands.
Well, I'm not saying that
thousands.
she was there for it, but she could have known about it. Is my point.
Oh,
It's possible she is aware of it, but I'm gonna go with. I think I mentioned this theory, back last season's finale, that the Earth was created to hold the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
That was the whole purpose. Way back and when.
Yeah, I'm like, I know I'm getting way ahead of ourselves here, but I'm always thinking one step ahead, and I want to know what is going to be worse than the darkness.
Yeah, like what? Because they keep
Next
one-upping
season,
themselves.
that is the question. What is worse than the darkness?
Because by the time we're going to have time to speculate, it's going to be thrown in our face. So if we wait till the end to speculate that, we're not going to know. So
Actually, God?
that's what I was thinking.
That's what I was thinking too. Was that we're gonna see God all of a sudden show up? Now we've already known.
That could be a nice guy.
Yeah, the angels are not always the most nicest people because they have their own.
They
Their
have
brains
their own
are-
agendas
their
and stuff.
brains. Yeah, and their brains are. I don't know why I have a fork.
So
But I-
does that mean, because I know Mike's stance on this, but Nikki and B, if you're saying God's mean, he's evil, does that mean he's not Chuck?
He could still be Chuck.
He is Chuck.
Chuck is not God.
It was confirmed.
No, it wasn't.
You just do this to annoy me.
I don't.
He's gonna come back and no, he like Kim said, he's gonna come back and be Old Testament God practically.
Yeah, that's what I was. I'm looking at vengeful, yeah, plague, freaking,
Like I'm gonna summon 2 bears to eat a whole
Summon-
village because you insulted this guy.
yeah, summon, freaking
Just 2?
the The flood.
was-
Really
Reflood.
big bears.
Reflood
That
the
was an
world.
actual thing. I mean, if you,
Yeah,
I forget
like-
which book of the Bible it is, but some
I don't know.
kid got in. I forgot how it happened. Someone
It's
got
book
insulted,
3.
and two bears got. God summoned two bears to eat everybody.
It was Bible the sequel.
Or the whole. All right, I like the whole. I really fucked up. All right, you bearded man, Noah. Yeah, you build a boat, 2 of everything, your family on it. I'm
That's
starting
what I'm
over.
saying. You know, flooding, you know, vengeful flooding, you know, plagues, you know, getting rid of like creation kind of thing. And that would be something that, you know, they'd have to step in and try to stop. So that's you know, because is it, so it's not that is he exactly evil or whatever, but it's him killing off everyone to start over.
Hey, that's one way to end.
That's-
That's one way to end the series. You know, many seasons from now. Just be like at like the series finale. Just be like, God shakes his head and goes, "You guys never existed." Bam, pop. They blinked out of existence. That's one way to kill
Can't-
them. They can't come back.
That would be a
You can't
terrible
fix
ending.
that.
I know it
That'd
would be
be
a
a
terrible
horrible
ending. I would be.
It would be
pissed
the worst
off.
ending ever because it's like everything that this show built up to was for absolutely nothing.
Exactly.
And God's just like, oh, let me just restart the world.
Again.
But I mean, what if you know, even though at the same time as him being, you know, God being, you know, vengeful, he's also, you know, forgiving. So that's the whole process, is them trying to get him to see the other light.
Yeah.
To save the world by proving that they're worth saving.
Yeah, I mean, I like what they're going with this because it's all pre-biblical, so they really could just pull from whatever the hell they want to. There's no, they have to do this, have to do that. This is all whatever the fuck they want because there's no records of it because it predates the Bible. So predates humankind. It predates Adam and Eve.
So now, here's a more on-topic question: how long before Sam's whole the darkness infection is dealt with?
I'm saying episode 4 or 5.
And I have to
4 or
agree
5.
with you just on past experience because I was expecting Dean Mon. I was, you know, Dean
I'm
is a
gonna say
demon.
it's cured next week.
I'll even take that because I was expecting Dean to be a demon for more than half a season, not 4
At least till
episodes.
mid-season finale, and that didn't happen.
The only reason I say next week is because look at the
Yeah,
the other guy
guys.
that turned baby dude, whatever. He turned and died like within.
A
Hours.
few
Hours.
hours. So yeah, they're really gonna have to get rid of it quickly.
I mean, I've seen a few promos where Sam is actually like addressing God and being like, God, we need your help right now. I need your help. And he has the veins like all the way up in his face. And he's completely just normal and he's praying to God. I've seen that promo. So maybe it's going to last. Maybe they're going to draw it out a little bit more.
He's gonna
Maybe
be
they're
like,
going to.
that would be it. That would be the perfect thing. You just gave it to me. God, I need your help. Help me. And then wherever he is, he snaps his fingers, and Lucifer appears right next to him, like, "Hi, Sammy. I'm here to help."
That would be, yeah, that'd be a good way to bring Lucifer back in. Who?
Oh my God, I can actually see it happening because
I'm getting chills because I just seeing them
Yeah.
together again. It's just going to be like.
I mean we know death.
No, this is what I think is gonna happen. I think because Sam is praying to God or whatever, and God's been silent for so long, God's still not gonna answer. So Sam's gonna have to turn to Lucifer and figure out how to let him out himself.
Or that.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what
Lucifer's
did
coming back. That's all that matters.
I still think it'd be a bigger,
There's no
bigger
God.
surprise.
It's Lucifer.
Yeah, I think it'd still be a bigger surprise if Lucifer just showed up.
so yeah, that's a good question.
Bam.
What? Yeah, that would be funnier in my opinion.
Did we get Metatron yet?
No,
Nope. They
Not
talked
since-
about him a little bit.
Yeah.
They brought him up because of the portal and stuff, and he's like, "We moved the portal because you're a dick and got Metatron all oozy doozy," and he thought he was hot shit again.
what
Yeah,
was the
it's like,
last
I
we
don't
saw of
remember seeing
Metatron?
that.
He was running away with the demon tablet or the angel tablet.
The angel tablet.
Yeah, it was Angel Time.
Yeah.
Wasn't he mortal too?
He's mortal.
He was
Mhm.
mortal, yeah.
So that might be what the angels that took Cass are after. It's information.
Possibility.
That's
Yeah.
very possible
Yeah.
too.
That would make sense.
Guys don't know much.
Not
but-
really.
Okay,
Yeah, but they don't know that.
they're dicks.
Yeah,
Angels are dicks. Angels are dicks. So you see, angels are dicks. I would think that God's a dick too.
No, they're just, they're pissing in their pants because daddy ran away.
Well, yeah, they've been.
Every angel has daddy issues.
Oh yeah.
Every fucking angel. They're all dicks.
Yeah, that is that indeed.
Maybe that's what happened. God decided to let them hash their shit out. Like, you kids are being douches to each other. You go figure out your shit. I'm gonna go over here.
So,
I'm going to Tahiti.
hello.
I'm
I'm
vacation.
fairly excited for this season, but I have to sit back and be more reserved because I was really, really fucking excited for last season.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was disappointed. I mean, last season definitely had its high points and its good episodes, but
Like killing off Charlie, that was an awesome high point for me.
sure. And the episode with Kane, that was another good episode. But the whole ending, curing Dean of his demonness so early, just very much upset me.
I was surprised. Surprised.
Dean was always in turmoil, though. I mean, he was always going to die because he couldn't handle, as a human, he couldn't handle the mark. It's meant for demons. So, I mean, I think they were trying to bank on that, he's still going to die, guys. He may be cured, but the mark is still going to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't
Dean's
do it.
always been a tortured soul, though, like from the beginning.
Yeah, well. When you're not as handsome as your dad, you're always going to be tortured.
We're back to Jeffrey Dean Morgan worship.
I'm gonna rain on Nikki's parade.
Go on.
There was talk from Felicia Day saying she may return for season 11.
I know, I heard the same thing too, but I
Wait.
can still be happy until that
Oh.
point.
I was like, she's dead. I'm like, oh wait, we go back to the no one ever does.
Well, I mean, it was an off-screen death.
Well, that's the other thing that we're on the subject.
Well, no, it wasn't. She was dead.
We didn't see her get killed, though, the way she got killed.
Yeah.
She was
So
laying there dead. It wasn't like Kevin, where he got his frickin' brain fried.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see exactly, I think, what happened with Charlie, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But what was interesting to me was people were dying. That whole concept was interesting to me because there is no death.
Yeah, where the
That was
They
something
got
that
me.
I wonder. I'm like, did they actually kill? Did he actually kill Death, or is it just like he went away, kind of for a while or
He
whatever?
killed
but it's
the
just
physical embodiment of death, but the concept, I mean, there are
Like-
still all the Reapers around.
true. You do still have.
Are there?
Yeah.
We don't know, actually. Do
Yeah,
the
you're
Reapers
right.
disappear when death dies?
We
Is
don't know
Death
the whole
dead?
situation, and
We don't.
if the darkness predates death,
Well,
then that whole concept of she doesn't know what death is, like,
Well, she didn't know who Death was as a person.
we have dabbled in other mythologies other than Christian and stuff like that, Catholic, like Greek. They have their own version of death.
True.
Maybe they all bank on each other. Maybe they all work with each other to deal with, hash things, like figure out how to balance life and the souls that die. I mean,
Well, I mean, because we did see that they other what is it? We saw the other sex of gods. Like they had the collective gods, Loki and whatever. But
They
Yeah.
went on.
Then we
As,
figured out Loki
was
was
it
an angel.
Zeus
but-
or Anubis or we saw something like that.
well, we saw a
saw-
whole bunch of them. They've
Yeah.
thrown.
Yeah.
They lumped them all in as pagan gods
Yeah.
Yeah.
in this
they did,
series.
so-
They're all the same kind of thing. You need some other special way to kill each of them.
Yeah, but if you look at that in that same thought process, you're right that they could do what is it? We have the river of Hades and the river of souls. So I mean, you could go that direction. They could be that. They could be all
Yeah, I
coinciding
mean-
together.
there's all these different religions around the world, and they all have their version of death. So, I mean, they're all working together. It's the only way they could just, kibosh, oh, we killed death, because there's other deaths out there.
True.
It's just one of many.
I'm just curious, yeah, because
Or they just replace him.
a lot of the pantheons of other gods, Sam and Dean, or have directly or indirectly eliminated. Zeus is dead. Odin is dead.
that we
Whole
know
bunch
of.
of others. Yeah, that we know of. A whole bunch of others.
We're seeing physical forms of these these gods dying, but you would think that in hindsight that just because their physical forms are gone, they're still you're talking about
Well,
Yeah,
a
I mean, look at
being that's
angels
supposed
and
to be immortal.
demons.
well,
Like, look at these angels and demons going around. They just poof out and they go to a new host or a new body and got a new meat suit.
yeah, it's true, but I mean, most of these ones I've mentioned, Lucifer gave the axe to, and I think he would have done it in a way that was permanent.
The other option is that when people die without death to dictate whether they're going to heaven or hell, or if that's even how it's chosen, we don't know for sure, is that everybody who's quote unquote dying is in purgatory.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would all be going to purgatory.
Oh, and
Oh,
then
God, you know what that means?
well, not
You
so
know what
much.
that means? Oh. When purgatory overfills with souls, the souls come back into the real world as fucking zombies.
Here's the thing, though.
Don't
In this
even.
mythos, in supernatural, good souls go to heaven, bad souls go to hell, monster souls go to purgatory. Because when
Right, but we don't know
when
if
Metatron,
that's
I know,
dictated by death, though, is my point.
exactly, but when Metatron shut the gates of heaven, the other, all the souls were just in limbo, still
Well,
on
maybe
Earth.
that's where they could go. Maybe we could explore limbo at some point.
Yeah, they're probably stuck there still because they never mentioned whether the angels got heaven up and running and accepting new souls again. We don't
This is
know
true.
if they fixed
Yeah.
Just
that.
know that they moved the door. That's all
Yeah,
we-
that's
Yeah.
an open. Yeah, that the door was made for them, but the gates are still closed technically, and they never really resolved that plot line. As far as we know, no new souls are going up.
And we know that we've already pretty much noticed the angels kind of have a chip on their shoulder when it comes to humans in general.
Yep.
But they want.
They no longer hold that same doorpost to protect humans. Even though now what the hell is her name?
Hannah.
Yeah, as Hannah's kind of controlling. It seems she's controlling everything, and she now understands humans, and she's the one that does understand protecting them. It doesn't mean that. I'm sure that she's gotten some of them on board, but it doesn't mean that all of them have completely jumped on the let's protect humans bandwagon. I'm sure still
Let's
some of
do
them are
what
still,
Daddy intended us to do.
yeah, and you're still gonna get some of that jealousy. I mean, that's the reason Lucifer is Lucifer.
And they also want to tap into all. They want as many souls as possible to tap into their power.
Correct.
So they have their energy source, or whatever
Yeah.
they use them for. All right. Anything else, guys? That you want to go over
The synopsis
for next season?
Yes.
For next
for next
episode?
season.
Next-
Yes.
next season.
Yes, I want to know what happens
Yeah.
next season. Can we go over
Well, I
that
mean-
right now?
We didn't
So-
really. I mean, what do you think the dynamic between the officer and Dean are gonna be with the baby? I mean, is it gonna go past what it's doing? Is it gonna get romantic? Because people have been asking, like, when is Dean actually gonna get his life? Maybe he's gonna get that little inkling. Because I mean, he did before, but
did.
that was short-lived.
Mhm.
Maybe this is going to be kind of a thing that leads on to maybe next season him actually having a family and him protecting his family instead of just killing things for having fun.
Well, we knew it was something that was very secretive that he wanted. He just never gave into it, and he kept it very quiet that he actually wanted this. And we really haven't touched on it since then. Obviously, because he became a demon and all this other stuff, he doesn't like whatever.
Yeah.
But it would be nice now that he's back to being human, and he no longer has the mark, so he has that rehash of life. But at the same time, right now we don't know how much controlled he is by the darkness. So that could play on whatever relationships that's going to happen.
Hopefully.
And
I mean, she's
so far
cute.
normally he would be all about
Let's
it.
talk about the baby.
Oh, I was
The cop lady's cute too.
she got some really pretty blue eyes. Like
Mhm.
She does. They're piercing.
yeah.
Anyways.
So I found it. Next episode is called Form and Void, and here's the official thing. Dean helps Jenna, the nurse. Apparently they're saying she's a nurse now, but anyway, he met after the darkness fell, get back home safely, and then sets off to help Sam deal with a town infected by a mysterious and deadly gas. However, when Jenna falls into dangerous hands, she calls Dean for help, and Sam tells him to go back to her. Unfortunately for Sam, he isn't able to handle the townspeople turned monsters as easily as he thought.
This is another Croatoan thing.
I instantly thought that when this, the beginning of this episode, well, middle of this episode. It seems very Croatoan-like.
Well, it was kind of the end of the episode, too, when they went to attack Sam, and they're like, oh, no, he's one of us. And they just turned around and, meh,
and I mean,
walked away. But as soon as Sam stabbed that girl and the blood poured over his mouth, I was like, oh, he's infected.
Oh, I knew
Yeah.
as soon
Yeah,
as
it
she
was
attacked him, and the way he said, did they bleed on you earlier in the episode, I'm like, he's going to get bled on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And watching the promo, you see Crowley dressed up as a Catholic priest. And that just seems hilarious.
And lots of screaming.
Lots of screaming, lots of blood. Crowley dressed as a Catholic priest, and they are, it looks like, torturing Cass.
Yeah, like torturing.
Yeah.
He's got the thing on his head with the
Mm-hmm.
The angel.
And marshmallows.
the marshmallows.
All right, so I think that's our show.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Good start. I like it.
Yeah, actually didn't really want to go into the season with high hopes at all. And this episode was really good, knowing that I went in just going to accept what I got.
I
because-
expected nothing, and I was rewarded for it.
Exactly.
Kim?
When she told them to strip and they didn't fucking do it, I got mad. Just saying.
I was going to ask
my
where can they
God.
find you? But...
When
Pissed
she
off.
was all like, show some skin, I'm all like, yeah, do it. I'm like,
Do
"Oh,
it."
What happened? Anyway, fine. Anyway, they can find me at H2FFI2FFI2I
On the Twitters.
on the Twitters.
Omi.
They can also find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyVenom24.
Dom. Catch your
Find me
breath, sir.
down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM.
Do 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 do. And he's dying. He's dying. Look at
No,
him.
I'm completely fine.
You can find me on Twitter at Philidrin. You can find us all on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Google+, MySpace, and YouTube at ASOTV Podcasts. You can follow us there for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. If you're watching us live, stay tuned. We will be doing the premiere of American Horror Story Hotel in about 10 minutes. Otherwise, leave us a comment, subscribe, like, whatever.
See you later.
Bye!
Ciao.
Bye.
Did we see
I was hoping-
Pandora
I was
yet
hoping
in
for some
Supernatural?
Show some skin, guys.
There was no shirts. The shirts didn't come off. Nothing. I was all like, come on now.
And no to
We're
the
worried about
Pandora
their
thing.
pants.
Whoa!